Did you know that some freelance writers work at the same rates for 10, 20, even 30 years? You do not want to be one of them. So I am breaking down this quick and dirty 5-minute review of your past projects and your pricing so that you can spend the next year working with higher up clients and earning more and doing stuff you actually enjoy doing rather than scrambling after pennies. I'm Mandy Ellis, and I built a 6-figure freelance writing business, and now I help other freelance writers hit 5-figure months with dream clients without the burnout, stress, and overwhelm. And here we are in this handy dandy spreadsheet where I'm going to walk through this in 5 minutes. First thing I want to tell you here is that when you're going through this, there's a little story that I like, which is there are two writers. This is a true story. I heard this from another freelance writer. There are two writers. One gets paid 50 cents a word at a magazine. The other gets paid $1.25 a word at the same magazine. They have the exact same experience. They have the exact same writing quality. But the difference was that that other writer who makes $1.25 asked about rate raises. They asked about wiggle room in the budget from that client from the very beginning. I don't want you starting at 50 cents and having to grow to $1.25. I want you to start as close as possible to the top rate. That's why we're going through this. When you're doing your annual review, or even if you do a monthly review, you want to put in your clients here. You want to put in what's the project? Is it blog posts? Is it case studies? Is it white papers? How many are you doing? Are you doing one case study a month? Are you doing 4 blog posts a month? Are you doing something quarterly? We need to know how much volume there is, because when you do your annual review, you need to know like, are we actually getting the right amount of money? And you should be getting at least $500 to $1,000 per month for your clients. I would say the minimum is I want to shoot at least for 1,000 as your bare minimum. So 12 grand a year from a client. If it's not that much, kind of your minimum is 500 bucks a month. So somewhere between 6 and 12 grand per year from a client is your minimum viable client. That's what we need to keep this whole train going. So we need to know what we're working on and how much so we can do some math. We need to know, like, what is the average of that per project? Like, what was the rate of this and what is the average that we're getting for our project? So the rate might have been 2K for this project, but it turns out that our average project rate is 3K. So this project is actually a little bit below average. These are things we need to know. These are numbers that are really important to track for the types of projects and what we're getting paid so that we know how to raise our rates and how to work with better clients. The other thing you need to know is your back end hourly rate. Your back end hourly rate is how much you make per hour on that project. This helps you with time management. So in here, let's say we have this $2,000 project and our average is $3,000 per project. And then our back end hourly rate works out to $125 per hour. So now we know that, yes, this project might be a little bit below average, but we're pretty happy with our hourly rate. Let's say this other one ends up being a $4,000 project. Our average is $3,000 and we're getting paid $55 an hour. Now, even though that project might be higher end, right? It might be something where we're getting paid more. We're working on it a lot more per hour. So this is something that gives you a framework and helps you see, is this actually worth it? Is this something that I should keep doing? Am I getting, let's say we said, right, we have our $6,000 to $12,000 per year, which is our $500 to $1,000 a month at least, right? So we need to know these numbers, but these are helping us understand, like, maybe I should do more of this work, or maybe this pricing is better. Maybe I'm underestimating the amount of time and effort and energy and experience and expertise I need for this project, or I'm learning how to do something. These numbers really help you. Did you find that tidbit helpful? I know sometimes that numbers can feel a little bit overwhelming and they can feel a little sticky, or they can feel a little like there's a lot of math. If that felt a little bit overwhelming, don't worry. We are breaking down the numbers more so that they're easier to understand, so we don't have to feel like everything is out of control in our business. But if you're someone who wants to learn more about the numbers, the things that really move the needle in your freelance writing business, make sure to subscribe. Then we're going to do overall job satisfaction, which I'm going to do at the end. Then we're going to do date for next pay increase. The reason I'm doing this video right now is because now is the time to start thinking about increasing your rates for current clients. The idea here is that anytime you increase your rate, you need to be ready to walk away. So if you go to a client and say, hey, in 2026, my rates are going to be X, you can't waffle when they're like, no, that doesn't work for us. You can be like, I totally understand, it doesn't work with your budget for the coming year. I've loved working with you. I can check back in and see if your budget has changed in 6 months and follow up. So we need to have a date for the next pay increase. This is how writers end up working 10 or 20 or 30 years for the same clients, never asking for a pay rate increase. They don't write it down. They don't think about it when the new year is coming up. They don't think about it when they get a new client. So you need to write that down so that we have that in the works for the next coming time, whether that's the next year, the next quarter, or the next type of project that you take for this. So for example, if this project was the first time you've ever done it, next time you need to increase your rate, right? Maybe you took something that was a little bit lower. Maybe this was a white paper or a case study or something that was really extensive with research and interviews and a lot of work, and it's taking a lot of time. You're getting paid a decent rate. But next time you need to charge more, write that down. And then we need to write down whether we're going to maintain this client, we're going to keep this client, or we need to replace them. There's a lot of little analytics in here that I'm talking through, but these things are really important for your next year, for your next quarter, and especially for planning out into those higher end projects, knowing when you need to remove a client or replace them, and when you should maintain a client. Now, if you're kind of wondering, I know that I have these clients on here. I'm looking at this spreadsheet. I'm wondering how I should kind of suss this out. What if it's before that? What if I'm looking at my current clients and I'm actually making the mistake earlier on? I want you to grab my free seasoned veteran cheat sheet. If you go to mandyellis.com/cheat sheet, you can grab it. And that will help you ask the right questions on your client calls so that before you ever even get to this review, you are getting on calls and sussing out the right clients to onboard into your business. It also gives you the tasks you need to complete with your marketing, how to onboard those clients like a gold star, and really give them that treatment that when you're accepting a client into your business that they're expecting, right? That really great high touch point onboarding that high-end clients are used to. So if you go to mandyellis.com/cheat sheet, you can grab that. When we're talking about overall job satisfaction, that is something that freelancers skip all the time. They get really stuck in a lot of the money stuff and how many hours is my butt in the chair. So what I want you to do, if you are someone who is worried about butts in chairs, give me a thumbs up. If you are someone who struggles with counting how much time is butts in chairs, give me a thumbs up. That has been something that I started with early in my career, and I've had many other writers and students struggle with the butts in chairs versus moving to a value model. Now we're just doing this back end rate so we know what we should keep and what we should what we should maintain, what we should replace. For me, I track my hours loosely. I kind of ballpark it. That kind of helps me. If you're someone who likes to track your hours, that can be really helpful. But I don't want you to be butts in chairs or beating yourself up or you should have gotten more done by now. That's not the goal. But this is the goal. Overall job satisfaction. So sometimes we take work that is lower paid but offers more job satisfaction. So I have these questions down here that I think can be really helpful moving forward. So did you complete that high quality work within the deadline schedule, or did you rush? Did you not give yourself enough space to actually get it done? So it ended up being that you actually needed more deadline time than you gave yourself. You were kind of rushing through it. Do you feel like your client was responding? Were they respectful? Were they interested? Were they timely? Walk through that. Does your client provide wonderful or lackluster feedback? So is this a client, and especially magazines usually give you wonderful feedback, but is this a client that is giving you feedback to help you write better? That's another secret thing that happens here when we're going through job satisfaction is this actually helping me write better? Am I getting feedback? Am I getting something that's helping me move to the next level? And did you get paid? Did you actually get paid for this thing? I think that really helps you move to the next level. Like, did I get paid on time? Is this someone who's serious? They're not waiting all the time for a notification to tell them they haven't paid their invoice. Is this something that helped you improve your writing research? It gave you a client, a project, a clip, or something for your portfolio, or it improved your rates. Was there something in here that you're getting value out of it simply beyond just money and a clip? Is there other stuff in here that can be really useful to you? Those clients are really worth maintaining. They're really worth keeping because they can provide a lot of iron sharpens iron for your writing skills, whether they're giving feedback or you're doing new projects. It's helping you maybe do some research or some interviews. It is maybe a client type that you've been seeking or a project type you've been seeking and you want to do more of that. There's lots of stuff in here where we need to kind of pay attention to this overall picture of working with the client. Number 6, was it actually a positive working environment? Did you enjoy writing them emails or talking to them on calls or working with them? Is this a relationship that you actually want to continue? And then is there room for growth? Do they have other projects in the pipeline? Are there things that you can grow with your income? Are there other relationships? Are they offering, referrals? Is there other stuff that might be really helpful with this client? And then last thing is, did you, if you gained a new client at the same rate as this one or doing the same work, would you stay with this current client or would you end the contract and go with that new client? This for me is the tipping point. This is the question that is the teeter totter between stay and go. So it's not just about who the client is or the clip or the project or the money or the hours. Sometimes it really comes down to if I got an identical project, would I actually stay with this client? Would I stay with this client or would I leave? Is this something that I really want to keep doing? Is this a great environment? Am I getting feedback? Am I improving the skills I need to earn more or to work on higher up projects or work for clients who are asking me to do more research or to do a little strategy or a little messaging or a little storytelling pieces in there? So there's a lot of stuff that we can go through, but I think this idea, if you're tracking this every month, if you're asking yourself these questions, you can really end up improving over the next 12 months by this quick 5-minute review, your clients, the types of projects, and the money that you're making. And next time, we're going to go through tools and systems and processes that help you track stuff a little bit quicker. It's helping you get those efficiencies. It's cutting down on admin. It's getting all the pieces in place that are getting you to the next level of your clients, of your systems, of your brain space. So you get the brain space back for creative work, all that good stuff. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you watch this video below.